have things like calliope hummingbird, which is a western vagrant that they depend on, and we now see it as an invasive, and we cut it out, and the mockingbirds are going with it, which, good or bad, that seems to be what happens. Other things that happen, that have come, this is one of the more amazing things to me about the bird life in Connecticut. Common raven, in early 80s, I drove to the Canaan dump and spent an entire day looking for a raven. Seriously, a whole day, and we saw one. Okay? Now, I live in Milford, they fly over my house. Okay? At the coastal center, they sit in the tree from the south. It was, 25 years ago, again, I drove to the New Milford dump to see a black vulture. Now, I did a Christmas count down in Derby, and we had 175 black vultures come to a roost. We've got a pretty eclectic collection of nesters. We've got a fair number of owls, the great horned, barred, screech, saw-whet, and rarely long-eared nest in the state. We have some things, woodland species like, this is a wood thrush on a nest, killdeer, or pallid turkey, and then a new addition, monk parakeets, because we have so much. The 4th of July at the Coastal Center would make your head explode. The line of people down the road from us spend more money on fireworks than the town does, and that's no joke. It's called salt marsh hay. They used to actually hay these things and have sheep graze on this stuff, and in the marsh actually nest. The low marsh, where you see the tall Spartina alterniflora, there's a couple of things that nest in there, but that gets inundated with water. This in it. Okay, so you have things like yellow-crowned night heron, black-crowned night heron, willets, great egrets. All of these marsh. So lots of things feed in the marsh, and we know marshes are important, so we've protected them. But what we didn't protect was a buffer zone around the marsh. And that's a problem, because these two species nest in the high ground next to the marsh, and the high ground next to the marsh has houses on it now. And we're down to pretty much 0 short-eared owls nesting anywhere in New England at all, except for Tuckernuck Island off of Nantucket. Sparrow and seaside sparrows nest in the marsh. The seaside sparrows nest in the alterniflora in this section, and the salt marshes nest in the Spartina patens in the high marsh. They lay their eggs, and they have the new moon in the middle. And if their nest floods once, they're okay. If the nest floats again for a second time, it usually falls apart, and they lose the nest. 2 inches is not a lot. And all you need is a little rain before that new moon, and these tides go up and wipe them all out. And nobody nests. And we, New England, and especially Connecticut, is the epicenter for the world distribution of salt marsh sparrow. We're it. And if sea level goes up an inch, these guys are toast. And they do not know what to do about it. They're trying all kinds of things, really nice successes. Osprey, DDT, you guys know about DDT and what happened to ospreys, peregrines, and eagles. Well, all 3 are recovering. Ospreys recovered very, very quickly when DDT was removed from the environment. We have a pair now that's on the nest at the Coastal Center. That's the Shakespeare Theater in Stratford. But this is the pair that's right out the back window that we have a TV camera on, and as of starting next week, you'll be able to. It's now closer to 50. In the last 3 years, they've almost doubled the number of nests. And whatever happened, something has happened. We have a nest within a mile of the Coastal Center right now for the first time ever. And they're a young pair. The female's an adult. The male is 5 years old. It's got. I have 2 12-gourd trees and a 6-gourd tree. And we banded over 100 babies for the last 2 years in a row. Now, the thing about purple martins is they're great aerial insect eaters. And the thing about them is they are completely dependent on humans for nesting. They don't nest in the wild in the Northeast anymore. They only nest in man-made nests. species increasing, and those are the things you know that shrublands include, sort of your neighborhood yards and things like that. So you get things like robin, American robin, and catbird, and cardinal, and yellow warbler, and mystery. Song sparrow numbers have been decreasing over time. Nobody really understands why. Brown thrasher used to nest at the coastal center, not anymore. Prairie warbler, house wren, another one that used to be really common, and their numbers are going down species as we can in one day. And right now, the record's 192 species. And we did not get golden wing warbler last year. It's gone. We don't understand what's going on with kestrels. Their numbers, there's still lots of habitat for kestrels, especially in the Midwest, and their numbers are still going down. Use this forest, you can see it. And the correlation seems to be in the size of the plot. The bigger the piece of land, the more species you have. The ovenbird's a mixed bag. Pileated woodpeckers are adapting. People see them in your yards now. They in the south, you see them everywhere. In the north, they were always deep woodland species, but now they're kind of adapting like they did in the south, and they're all over the place with a park full of that. And I'm sure you've wrestled with all of these species. This is my personal favorite. I have a personal vendetta. I discovered that I have two parks that I go in all the time, and every time I go in the park, if I find garlic mustard, I pull it out, I stick it in the middle of the trail, I stomp all over it. I don't always show this, but I think you guys can take it. I was doing some research on this, and this is what I found out. Read that. I got two cats. I love cats. They live in my house. They stay in my house. Because this is one that's kind of interesting. If each cat that's out in Connecticut kills 5 birds, okay, that's 4 million birds killed by cats in the state of Connecticut in a year. Just cats. And this is the number.